Welcome back to the Great British Crochet Off, a series where every single week I crochet something inspired by that week's episode of the Great British Bake Off, and today we are doing Caramel Week. As always, while we'll not be discussing who left or who got Star Baker, I will be discussing these specific challenges. So if you don't even want that level of spoiler, you can hit this little bookmark button here and save this until after you've watched this week's episode of the Great British Bake Off. So on to those challenges. First they had to do caramel biscuits. And so that was like stroop waffles or like kind of like a chocolate candy caramel biscuit. Something in that involved like a baked element and a caramel element and was small. Next for the technical, they had to make pear tartines. Oh god, that was probably really bad, but that's what they had to make. Alongside a caramelized walnut ice cream. So there was a baked element and a caramel element and an ice cream element. That was kind of, I would have been overwhelmed personally. And finally, for their showstopper, they had to make a caramel mousse cake. So you had a baked element of a cake, and then what Paul stated would be a sizable amount of caramel mousse. I think he said it was like at least the equal to or double the cake ratio should be the mousse ratio. And so this week I was inspired by caramel mousse cakes, though you might say that I took some liberties with the brief a little bit this week. So I was watching and I was looking at Georgie's cake, Kelly's cake, and Andy's cake, and just like the colors and the vibes of the three of them, and I started remembering this yarn that I had. This is all one thing of yarn. It's just this really gorgeous color, and I've been wanting to make a wearable thing with it. So I just started pulling elements from their bakes, the greens from Andy's, the roses from Georgie's, the like gold and the beading from Kelly's, and I turned them into a project that has evolved a lot since I first decided to make it Tuesday. At first it was a straight up cardigan, and now it's kind of turned into like a wrap shawl thing. I will be honest, it is Sunday when I'm filming this, so this is the day when I release it. Usually I film on Saturday. I was up until midnight finishing this, so I'm gonna try it on and I hope you guys like it. All right, so here you have it. So it's kind of just like, it's basically just a giant scarf with sleeves at the end. And I am extraordinarily proud of how pretty these sleeves turned out. And as I wear this, it's important to note, I live in southern Texas. I live in the Houston area, so it is rather hot here most of the time. I am talking about like, we got down below 80s last week and I was putting sweaters on, and we're back up into the 90s next week, and it's mid-October. So when I crochet like wearables, I consider the fact that like I can't do heavy sweaters all the time, and I get way more use out of like shrugs and really light cardigans, crocheted tank tops, knit tank tops, and stuff like that. So like I said, I was originally making this to be a cardigan, and quite frankly, the yarn store ran out of this color yarn, and I would have had to drive like an hour to get more of it, and I was like, I don't have time this week to drive an hour. So I kind of just adapted this into what it is now, and honestly, I love it, and it's gonna be perfect for like school pickup, school drop off, throwing it on really quick to run to the store, wearing around here and shea yarn. Sometimes I just need to like warm my arms up a little bit. And what's fun is you can kind of switch the styling up of it a little bit, so you can make it fit more like a little infinity scarf and sleeves if you wanted, which I think actually works kind of well with this top. So here is my finished product for Caramel Week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I went off the brief a little bit, but sometimes you just gotta go where the inspiration leads you. And I will see you guys next week for Pastry Week, which is the most delicious of weeks, so I'm very excited.